Subway Series certainly did not go the Mets' way. It was the Yankees greeting Johan Santana very rudely, as a matter of fact, and the home runs kept on coming, including Russell Martin's walk-off against John Roush in the sweep. But the Mets fought back behind R.A. Dickey. They went and helped out the Yanks and swept the Rays in Tampa Bay, just getting terrific pitching continuing back here at Citi Field. Dickey and then Ike Davis with the granny, and then Johan continuing the trend as the Mets swept the Orioles. And now Subway Series Part 2, and the Mets going for a little revenge. Jonathan Nice against 40-year-old Andy Pettitte tonight to start off the weekend festivities.
You know, interesting watching these two pitchers. I'm sure when John was in grade school.
Take a look at both guys warming, and you know, you look at Andy Pettitte off from baseball for a season and coming back, and he has come back with a vengeance right now. And Jonathan Nice trying to get to that next level. The Mets investing in their future with a $25 million contract to Jonathan Nice. And Ronnie, you talked about it in the open, which we did about an hour ago with all the rain. Now can he take it to the next level, that elite level for Nice? We shall see.
Well, you know, the thing about when you think about Jonathan Nice, you think about a guy who at this stage, after the big contract, he's at a stage where he can start really producing some great efforts. I just think he's one of those guys in that rotation that's going to catch fire with all this great pitching from R.A. Dickey, great pitching from Johan Santana, and just really take it to the next level because he has that kind of talent.
And so the Mets, who have been on this very strange path ever since losing that Subway Series to the Yankees, they got swept by the Yanks, and they go to Tampa and sweep them, come home to Cincinnati and played pretty well. Maybe a couple bad pitches here, but Cincinnati pitched well, and they swept the Mets. And then the Orioles come in, who are having a terrific season, and they sweep the Orioles right out of here. It's been a very bizarre twist. But the one thing that's been consistent, really, with the exception of the Johan start Friday night at Yankee Stadium, they have gotten, Keith, terrific pitching the whole time through.
Well, the starting pitching has been absolutely outstanding. And what the starting pitching has been able to accomplish by going deep into games and complete games is rest the bullpen, which has been really kind of besieged out there, beleaguered. Give them a chance to catch their breath. Now we're going into this game. Has been a roster move, and we're going with 6 relievers tonight. The Mets are, I should say, because the bullpen is rested.
You know what's interesting here is that they're going over their last-minute game plan, probably going over the first 3 hitters in the lineup they're going to face in the first inning. And then when you start walking in and get closer to the bench, you start talking about things that are strange just to try to get yourself out of feeling that pressure. Sometimes you'll say, hey, boy, it's going to be nice. Looks like a full house tonight. Talk about different kind of things.
See, Brett Gardner, he looks like RoboCop. He's been
right?
trying to come back from that elbow injury for some time, and Joe Girardi is saying today that likely not until after the All-Star break. Keith, you mentioned the roster move by the Mets. Ronnie Cedeno is back after a good enough rehab stint in Buffalo, coming back now. So Omar Quintanilla moved on the bench. But here's the interesting thing about it. Omar Quintanilla stays. Jordany Valdespin stays. They decreased their bullpen. Elvin Ramirez is sent down to Buffalo now, so they're only working with a 6-man pen tonight.
Well, you know, I always felt that I thought carrying 12 pitchers was too much. I thought 7 relievers was too much. I'd rather have a manager with another bench player. It just late in the game, you have to make a lot of moves. That's why you got a lot of flip-flops today in the lineups, because you're lacking in the depth in the bench because you got 12 guys in the 12 pitchers. So I think 6 is fine, but, you know, the starters have got to hold up their end, and the Mets starters are.
And they have been. So the bullpen's well rested, and the Mets have a weapon that not all teams have. They have Miguel Batista, who can throw every single day. Not a lot of teams have that guy.
And he, right now, seems to be a guy that's going to be pitching late in games, but Batista can also go and give you 3-4 innings if you really need that to happen. Talk about the Mets staff, and you know, we saw a streak of 29 consecutive scoreless innings that finally ended in the 8th inning on Wednesday night when Wilson Betemit hit a 2-run home run off of Dylan G. But even so, the Mets held on for that game. Frank Francisco loading the bases and did escape the jam, as Hairston will play against the lefty today. And Francisco, of course, making news today. If you picked up any New York paper, you saw the picture of the chicken with the head and saying, can't wait to take on those chickens over there. And, of course, I was told in the Yankee clubhouse, Rafael Soriano was going around saying, hey, chicken, hey, chicken, hey, chicken. Well, so you might have some fireworks if Francisco gets in the game tonight.
For Keith and I generation, when he said that the Yanks were chicken, all I could think of was Fred Stanley, who was named Chicken, right? Who was the shortstop for the Yankees in the day.
And it made me remember in the 88 playoffs when we lost to the Dodgers, when Coney wrote the article, Bob Klappich actually wrote it, for the Post was making fun of their relief pitcher, Jay Howell throwing curveballs, and they used that in their clubhouse, Lasorda leading the charge, as a rallying cry. And, you just don't want to wake up sleeping dogs.
Yeah, yeah, that's for sure. You look at the Subway Series history, and there you go. See, the Yankees have held the upper hand in this one. More runs a game, certainly the home runs, and this year the home runs are ever evident. The Yankees lead the major leagues with the home runs with 105. The Mets have just 55, and the key simply to keep it in the ballpark tonight. Here is the lineup, and it's brought to you by Toyota. When you choose Toyota, you get a lot for less. You look at this Yankee order. Derek Jeter just keeps on a trucking. It will be 38 on Tuesday, and he is having a fantastic season, batting .313, leading off for the Yanks.
Well, Jonathan Nice, just like the rest of the Mets starters, has gotten great strikeout to walk ratio. His last 3 starts, 23 strikeouts and only 3 walks, as he's a game over 500.
And we'll take a look at the defense, brought to you by Lexus RX. And, of course, Cedeno at shortstop. He doesn't hurt you with the glove. He's solid. A little more offense, probably a little better bat. Turner at second base gets the start. Davis gets a start at first base again, then hopes that they can get him turned around. And Nikias behind the plate. There's Mr. Cedeno right there. And Murphy gets another day on the bench. That's kind of a little something to keep an eye on and see which direction Terry Collins is going there.
We talked to you about before where you had Nikias, and there's Murph. He had Nikias and Denise coming in and really going over the game plan. And Andy Pettit, of course, just the opposite. Walking ahead just for the pitching coach and really in a matter and mode of, okay, I got this one. I've done this a lot. 243 career wins.
I think it was the last Subway Series in one of the Joe Girardi press conferences when he was asked, when he knew that Pettit might be indeed on the comeback trail. And he said he was in Tampa early in camp, and Andy was there just kind of working out. And he saw him one morning, and he said, that looks like more than just a regular workout. I don't know. I mean, that kind of seems like there might be something else to it. And then, of course, there was. And Pettit's been brilliant since he's come back. Jonathan Nice just threw his last warm-up pitch. He is 25 years old, and in his career, 26 up, 26 down, a 4.30 ERA. He is trying to find that streak, that run, to get him to the next level. And boy, what a great stage and a chance to do it against this lineup in the Subway Series, what should be a packed house at Citi Field tonight. Starting a little bit late, now a late close of the rain, but we are set to go as Derek Jeter steps in the box.
This is the loudest crowd I've heard here in a long time before first pitch.
Yeah, and the rain kept people away. They were huddled in the clubs here, so they are in their seats now as Nice will face Jeter to start off the Subway Series Part 2 with a strike.
Well, Jeter has always been a thorn in the Mets side. He has really thrived in these crosstown rivalry games.
Nice is 0-1, and he's ahead of Jeter 0-2. Jeter's the best hitter against lefties by far for the Yankees. 400, just crushing lefties this year. As you see Granderson waiting on deck. Yankees had a 10-game win streak until the Braves took the last 2 of their series this week. 0-2. A chance for Nice on the easy play, and there's one down.
Boy, oh boy, that was go sit down. Three power pitches inside, just jammed, tied up Jeter.
So now Curtis Granderson, the center fielder, who has had tremendous power numbers this year. 21 home runs. Hit one against the Mets at Yankee Stadium. 41 RBIs for Granderson.
Well, I guess it wasn't a fluke last year, huh?
Not in the least.
He's built for that ballpark, though.
Well, it's interesting that you say that. The Yankees have a formula, and they should. I mean, that Yankee Stadium has been around a long time. Even the new one is even shorter dimensions. They know how to teach their left-hand hitters how to pull.
0-1 to Granderson, just missed outside.
I remember Lou Piniella was the hitting coach for the Yankees when Mattingly came up. And if you recall, Mattingly was a guy that sprayed the ball around the field and hit the ball the opposite field. And then Piniella got Mattingly, taught him how to pull in Yankee Stadium.
Taught him how to pull. Looked for a pitch to pull? Is that how it works? Or?
I guess. Yeah. I've never had a conversation with Lou about that, but certainly Mattingly was receptive. I mean, Mattingly had some incredibly awesome offensive years with the Yankees.
He says Granderson 1 and 2. And he just misses there.
Complete player, though. Granderson last year. He's a guy who plays his position well in center field. 136 runs scored last season.
Meanwhile, Nice with 2 strikes. What does he throw a lot? His curveball. League average against his curveball, 188. One of the best in the league. And against Granderson, quickly 2 down in the first.
Well, it's that little cutter you usually see him throw against right-handers. He puts a little more tilt on it and a little more break. A nice job by Nikias to get that foul tip.
And so 2 down, and that'll bring up Mark Teixeira. Yankees had a day off yesterday like the Mets, and Teixeira did not start the Wednesday game against Atlanta. He got whacked in the heel off a Jason Hayward shot. Came in to pinch hit, though, and played the final inning, so he's obviously fine in there today as Nice misses outside 1-0.
And he is always a guy that just can't get out of his own way in April and May. He's a slow starter, but he's starting to pick up his numbers. He is now at 256, 12 home runs and 40 RBIs. And, you know, 40 RBIs in 65 games. Trying to pace over 100. I'll take it.
Yeah. Teixeira better from the left side, though, as a right-handed batter, hitting just 230 this year. 1-1. And he's got himself a base hit here. So a 2-out single from Mark Teixeira, and that'll bring Alex Rodriguez to the plate.
Well, set up inside. They want to come in inside. Just missed enough, but got in enough with this very strong Teixeira. You can see he's just got tremendous upper body strength.
It's been an interesting season for Rodriguez, and you know, anytime you're making the money that he's making, you're going to get talked about. He's hitting the home runs. He's got 11 home runs, 32 RBIs, but he's got 6 doubles and 4 of them since April the 9th. That's a very strange number. It's way upstairs. Nikias grabs it, though. 1-0 to Rodriguez.
He's got 60 strikeouts, too, A-Rod. So that's always a sign that maybe you're losing a little bit of the reflexes.
I think reflexes, and he's had so many issues as you see the defense, Keith.
Mets have always, all year long, played distinct defensive positioning on the infield.
1-0 is inside. Yeah, Turner just about behind second base. This particular formation.
It's almost like begging A-Rod to go the other way.
Cano on deck. Rodriguez, 36 years old. Waits at 2-2. 2-0, excuse me. There's a strike, 2-1. And of course, talking about the contracts. If you remember, he opted out of the 10-year, $252 million contract during the 07 World Series, and then re-upped with the Yanks 10 years, $275 million. That keeps him in pinstripes through 2017. The 2-1 gets a piece, fouled straight back.
Well, I was talking about it before. As you can see, this pitch is supposed to be in. It's outside, and a good cut by A-Rod, who hits it straight back. You know, he's had a lot of injuries, especially leg injuries that have taken away a little bit of his power, but you know, has not played in more than 140 games since 2007.
He's looking for his second K. The 2-2, and Rodriguez goes the other way. Back-to-back 2-out hits for the Yankees. Starting a rally here as Cano will come to the plate.
Well, A-Rod says, tempt me not. Pitch away, goes right with it. That is perfectamundo. Beautifully done.
Nice balance. He's always had great balance at the plate.
This is the guy that coming up now, Cano, who's, to me, is just some kind of hitter.
Here's where the Yankees have struggled, though. 2-out RBIs. They are last in the American League.
You know, Keith, when we were doing the game in the Pepsi Porch, you noticed that Torres plays very shallow. Shallow again here against Cano.
You know, Duda likes to play shallow, too. And, you know, Cano's got some pop. I don't know if it's a conscious effort that you want to throw out the lead runner. My feeling is, if that's your intention and you want to get a good break on a base hit and have a chance to throw out the runner, you know, I would rather be down 1-0 than have something get over your head and you're down 2-0, and then the guy hit the ball is in scoring position, and it could be 3-0.
So the numbers on the Yankees. Well, Nice is also excelled in these situations. And Cano, by the way, on fire with the power. 11 home runs his last 30 games. As he fouls this one back, he's in an 0-2 hole.
Boy, he's had a couple of pitches hit too. Ever since Nice has gone in the stretch, his ball has been middle. See Nick Swisher on deck. You and I know Steve, his father. The one place you have to worry about with Cano is 2 strikes against a left-handed pitcher. The off outfielder Hairston has to watch out. He's got tremendous power to left field, especially against the left-hander.
0-2. And he gets him. Jonathan Nice gets out of the first inning jam, his second strikeout of the inning. Yankees lead 2. Mets coming to the plate next. Brought to you by Toyota. When you choose Toyota, you get a lot for less. Ronnie Cedeno back in the mix, coming back from the rehab assignment with a calf injury. He's back in there, and Hairston just annihilates lefties in there as you'd expect. No Murphy tonight. It's Turner at second base to face Andy Pettit.
Well, Andy Pettit almost averaging 7 innings per start for the 40-year-old. He's been outstanding. 12 base on balls, 46 strikeouts, and his 243 wins, tied for 51st all-time with Juan Marichal.
Andres Torres gets a start in center field for the Mets. He'll lead it off. No score here in bottom of the first. Yanks got 2 on against Jonathan Nice, but he got the strikeout when needed to end the frame as Torres takes a strike. Now, Torres has been slumping in a big way. He's just 5 of his last 33 over his last 12 games. As a right-handed hitter, though, he's been pretty solid all year, batting .319 with 11 walks. Check swing there, and he did not go around.
And the defense, you see, Granderson loves to play shallow. Swisher's playing shallow too. And shade to the opposite field. Oh, I'm sorry. He's heading right-handed for pull. I agree.
Pettit tries to come in and nab that corner, but he's a little inside. 2-1. As Cedeno on deck. The calm after the storm. A 53-minute delay. There's a strike.
Kevin, we were telling you before on Friday nights in our day, 8:05 was the time that the games would start.
They'll feel normal to you guys. 2-2 on the way, and Torres waiting it out.
There is buzz at the stadium. It is electric, folks. You can just feel the electricity.
High ball 4. So the Mets have a leadoff walk against Pettit.
We'll take a look at the Yankee defense, brought to you by Lexus RX. And there are lots of Gold Glovers here in this lineup, as you can see. There's 7 out of the 9. How about that? And, of course, Andrew Jones leads the hit parade with 10. He had 10 in a row from 98 to 07.
So now it's Ronnie Cedeno's turn with Torres off of first base. And, of course, Pettit with that terrific pickoff move. So Torres will be careful. Strike one. Andres, by the way, is 2 for 4 on steals this year. For Cedeno, coming back from that calf injury, he's batting .231 on the season. But the one thing that is so different about him this year, his on-base percentage. With the Mets, this season is at .351. Career just .288. It's a much better job trying to be a little patient. High and tight, 1-1 to Cedeno.
If you think that Torres has a small lead at first base, you're absolutely right. Unbelievable pickoff move by Andy Pettit, and you just cannot take a chance by getting a good lead.
And again, the center, Granderson and Swisher, very shallow to the opposite field for Cedeno. Granderson is like throwing out chum there. He's hit it over my head, I dare you.
Williamsport like.
Jeez.
Pettit's 1-1 on the way, and this is drilled up the box for a base hit. Torres will stop at second, and the Mets have the first 2 on against Pettit in the first.
Well, welcome back, Ronnie Cedeno. Fastball, oh, cutter. No, that's a fastball. It's got too much plate.
I'll bring up David Wright as the Mets have something going here in the home first against the Yanks. David Wright's season so far has got flat-out silly numbers, video game numbers. He's 3rd in the National League with a .358 batting average, 6th with 46 runs scored, 2nd with a .456 on-base percentage, 2nd with 23 doubles. You get the idea. You give the Mets an early lead as Pettit stays away. It's 1-0.
Well, this is pretty much what happened the last start Pettit had against the Mets over in the Bronx. They got 3 on him in the second, if you recall, after a 1-2-3 first. Mets just getting started a little earlier here.
They had a chance to knock Pettit out of that game, though. It was 3 runs in that inning. They got a couple big hits, and they had 2 on for Wright and Bay, and Pettit got 2 strikeouts and changed the complexion of that game. 1-0. That catches the outside corner for a strike. One to right. Tap to third base. Rodriguez will grab the force at third. Too slow to get anything else. So fielder's choice for Wright is Torres forced out at third. That's the first out of the inning.
A little chop here. And Rodriguez does the right thing. Get the lead runner. Glad to see Alex got rid of that purse.
So here's Scott Hairston now.
I always have to give him a shot.
Yeah, I know.
It's all good fun. We all remember that picture, that photo.
Hairston has good numbers against Andy Pettit as well. 6 for 15 with a home run against Pettit. And of course, we've talked about his home run, his numbers against lefties overall this year. He excelled again on Wednesday night against Brian Mattis. Had a couple of big doubles in that game. And he starts Hairston off with a first pitch strike.
This is Pettit's 40th ballpark that he's pitched in the major leagues. First time pitching at Citi Field.
Apropos, since he just turned 40 after his last start against the Mets.
Pettit always with that glove covering the mouth, under the nose, that glare.
He almost like he's trying to create blinders where his eyes are just on the zone where he wants to throw the baseball. Great concentration.
Two on, one down, 0-1 to Scott Hairston here in the first. Martin blocks that one. Talked about Hairston's prowess against lefties. .351. 7 of his 9 home runs against left-handers this year.
Well, you know, you got a veteran pitcher in Pettit out there who's got great guts, great postseason pitcher. Reason for his greatness. And you've got, I think, the one right-handed bat he's really got to be careful with, Ron. It'll be very interesting to watch how he pitches Hairston this entire game.
Tries to come inside and missed a little low and in. So 2-1 to Hairston.
interesting, that cutter in. David on his at bat got 2 curveballs and a changeup away. Be interesting if he goes with a changeup here to Hairston, who's a great fastball hitter.
2-1 delivery. Just missed. Tried to nick the outside corner with that fastball. Now a real good count for Hairston at 3-1. Good speed on the bases for the Mets. Cedeno at second and Wright at first. Cedeno more of a pull guy, but he does have a little gap in right center. Pettit's 3-1.
It just looked like he took a little off.
He did. It was like a batting practice fastball, not used by many pitchers anymore. On the outside part of the plate, just turns it over, wants to keep it down. We've seen Hairston, anything up in the strike zone, very dangerous.
It was an 88-mile-an-hour pitch, so just kind of took a little bit off there.
Keith, I'm sorry. Could even 2 miles an hour like that? Did that make a big difference? It can.
Yes, absolutely. Actually, it's the perfect amount. Actually, 3 because it's hard to wait and hang.
But it opens up all kind of options. The cutter in, curveball away, fastball up out of the strike zone. Just a lot of avenues for Andy to go to.
Because of the defense on Hairston, Wright has a huge lead off of first.
They're running.
Payoff pitch. The runners go. It's down low, ball 4, and the bases are loaded. So Pettit's walked 2 in the inning, and the Mets have the base juice for Lucas Duda.
Well, we talked about Hairston being the big out on the right side of the plate. Pettit, that looked like a changeup. Strike 1. Curveball, a cutter down, 1-1. Another cutter down and in, 2-1. That looked like a fastball, just missed down and away. Then they threw the 3-1 changeup, and then came back another changeup. So that's pitching Hairston. That tells me right now the book on Hairston, as far as the Yankees are concerned, he's a fastball hitter.
You see Duda's numbers. The 11 home runs and 42 RBIs lead the Mets. Bases loaded. It takes inside. Pettit misses spot there.
A lot of that has to do with the way he pitched Hairston. He faced Duda 3 times in that start in the Bronx. 3 strikeouts.
Duda sat out on Wednesday with a little hamstring tightness. He's fine back in there, though. He's reached base 22 straight times. 22 straight games. Big cut on the off speed.
That has been the pitch. He's been throwing mostly cutters, sliders to Duda, and he's not been able to lay off that pitch down the strike zone.
Right. It's not in the strike zone, and that's why Lucas has close to 70 strikeouts. But he's a young hitter, learning. Good cut. That may have been his pitch to hit right there. And you may know, a pitcher like Pettit, that might be the only one you get.
See the runner, Cedeno at third, Wright at second, Hairston on first. Pettit's had 2 walks here in this inning.
Oh my gosh, Miami's going down the tank.
I think they're already almost there. 1-2 to Duda. He just gets a piece. For the Marlins, I mean, they get swept by the Red Sox, and they've lost 13 of 15.
Interesting. Martin doing a lot of moving back there. That ball fouled off the end of the bat by Duda.
Pettit's got Duda 1-2. And he jams him. A little cue shot.
Well, Granderson didn't see it at first.
And that's shallow enough that Cedeno has to stop at third. So Pettit gets the big out on Duda. And the bases remain loaded. It looked like Jeter was going to take it and then just kind of let it go there. Granderson had a little hop in the step to get to that.
Granderson doesn't see it. Where is it? Now there he's got it. So Jeter kind of assumed it was the center fielder's ball because he was looking at the ball, didn't realize that Curtis didn't have a beat on it.
That should tell all the infielders, anything in the air, everyone go for it, because you don't know if it's going to be lost right now.
Here's Justin Turner with 2 down. This is a guy you want at the plate. He's a big-time clutch hitter for the Mets this year. Second on the team behind only Mike Baxter. 4-12 with runners in scoring position, as you see the kind of haze after the rainstorm. Bases loaded, 2 down, and he starts off a little low with a breaker. Pettit, by the way, last gave up a grand slam June 7th, 2008 to Jose Guillen.
Well, I like the way the defense is aligned right now. Interesting. They're giving Turner all the middle on the infield, but look at Teixeira at first, really taking that hole away from Turner. He loves to hit in that hole. That's where I used to play. Kid Boyer told me when he took over and I was in AAA with him, you're going to get beat more in the holes to your right, first baseman's right, third baseman's left, than you are down the line.
Pettit has walked 2 in the inning. See if the Mets can take advantage with 2 outs and a 1-1 to Justin Turner.
For Ike, his 8th. It's a slider. It's hanging off the end of the bat. I believe it hits the glove. Yes, it did. Swisher's glove and goes over into the seats. It would have been a home run anyway. I think it would have been off the top of the wall. How about this 5-run first with 2 outs?
Just when it looked Pettit was going to get out of it, as Nicky is the batter now at strike 1. Just when it looked like he was going to get out of it.
Just got a little bit of a glove on it. That's off the top of the wall.
Great irony. Mets getting a shortish kind of home run here at Citi Field.
How funny is that, right?
Yankee Stadium, and would have turned his back and let it go. It's out of here.
That was a good effort by Swisher. And Ike Davis hit that one to the moon. It just got enough to get it over. His 8th home run of the year. RBIs 34, 35, and 36. And what a start for the Mets. 5-0 in the first. There's an 0-1 to Nikias, and Mike Nikias gets it by Jeter. He's got himself a base hit. So 3 straight hits for the Mets with 2 outs. And now the 9th man to bat will be the pitcher, Jonathan Nice.
Well, here's the ball again, the home run. And he did not. He just got a little bit of a tick of the glove on it. And
I agree, though, Keith. I think that was going over close,
yes,
but I thought it was going to go over.
Top of the wall. You know, Ronnie, speaking about the pitching aspect of this, big out, he gets a Duda. He's 1 out away from getting in the clubhouse, into the dugout without a run, and now it's 5-0.
But again, I think the lineup of having the right-hander Turner in between Duda and Ike set up that whole inning. And for Jonathan Nice, they always say a double play is a pitcher's best friend. I think batting in the first is a pretty good friend, too.
Turner is just so good in these spots. And remember the other night against the Orioles, he was in an 0-2 count, worked it back to draw a walk. That allowed Nikias to get the big base hit. He just provides a good at-bat in those spots. And then Davis coming through in an even bigger spot. And that's the hit they didn't get the last time at Yankee Stadium. The hit to really knock the Yanks around. 5-0, 2 down. Here's Nice, 9th batter in the inning, and he takes outside for ball 1. And Andy Pettit is working in this first inning. First time that Pettit has given up a run in the first inning this year. As Nice back up the box, and he's got himself a 2-out hit. 4 straight 2-out knocks for the Mets. and they've batted around here in the first.
Both Larry Rothschild and Joe Girardi looking at the lineup. Right middle of the plate, little cutter. Nice hitting by Jonathan.
And back to the top we go. Andres Torres, who walked to start it off. He was forced out at third on a fielder's choice by Wright. You can give the Mets an even bigger edge in this first. Already 5-0, and all the damage has come with 2 outs as Torres takes strike 1. Freddie Garcia, the forgotten man in the Yankee bullpen, will go and loosen up. Oh, 1 to Torres. Pitches one to center field and deep. Granderson racing back over the shoulder, makes the catch. But a great inning for the Mets as they put 5 on the board against Pettit, and it all came with 2 outs. That's a first inning. Ike Davis with the exclamation point. A 3-run jack, number 8. 5-0 Mets. All year. They get Turner with a huge at bat and then Ike with a 3-run bomb.
Well, you know what's ironic too is that you've got 2 of your players back. Turner back recently now, and Cedeno back, and you know, here they are in the mix, and they're very much a part of the inning. Cedeno with a base hit and scored a run, and of course Turner with the big 2-out single.
Listen, there's a long way to go against this power hitting lineup, but that was a little tug on Superman's cape there in the first inning. Very nice.
And it's got to feel good, especially after the sweep the last time. That's for sure. And how about, you know, Terry Collins? Again, he's pulled a lot of strings that have gone right. I mean, right? He gets a feeling. He plays Turner today. Turner comes through in a big way. So we'll start inning number 2 with a 5-0 Mets lead as Jonathan Nice works to Nick Swisher, and he deals him a strike. Swisher at 264, but again, much better left-handed righty. He's only 219 on the year. And he's quickly in an 0-2 hole.
Ronnie, what does a 5-run lead early do to a pitcher?
It shouldn't do anything. It really shouldn't. You should treat it like it's 0-0. Keep executing your pitches. It's not like you can just go to the fastball against this team because you have a big lead. Still have to execute.
Heath struck out 2 in the first inning. Look at that sky after the storm.
Well, it almost looks like Aurora Borealis out there, right? What a beautiful sky.
Northern Lights.
Nice's 1-2 on the way. And a right on the second hop. And Ike with a nice scoop at first base. And Swisher retired, one away.
Yeah, that's been a very big plus for the infield to have Ike over there. And I think that is why the Mets have really, I tell you what, for someone that struggled as Ike this deep into the season, I've never seen a player get such a long, the organization be patient with someone as long as they have with Ike. And I think a lot of it has to do with his glove at first base.
Well, Keith, you bring up a very interesting point, and it relates to the situation at second base right now as we see Andrew Jones stepping in against Nice and taking inside for ball one. You know, Murphy now has sat out the last 3 or 4 games, and you know, Murphy has struggled a lot less than Ike did initially, that's for sure. But you know, Ike has a little different dimension. Besides his defense at first, Ike offers a threat, which we saw in the first inning, and Daniel Murphy doesn't offer that in his game.
Well, it's not the last we've heard from Daniel. We'll be very curious to see. I mean, we all go into slumps, and you know, the only way you're going to get out of a slump is to play. We've had a rash of left-hand pitching of late, and Daniel has not been playing against the left-handers of late.
You know, to finish up on Ike, though, you know, in this town, this is I see Russell Martin on deck. There'll be a lot of knee-jerk reactions and decisions that are made, and the organization was very patient with Ike, and it's paying off.
2-1 to Andrew Jones is down low, and so
I would have been more of the camp of let's send him down for a month,
get him right,
middle of May, after 6 weeks. Once he gets hot, get him right up, put him in the line.
First walk issued by Jonathan Nice. Yankees have their third base runner of the game. Let's remember, Nice had a couple of hits in the first and got out of it with a strikeout, so he's still trying to find his rhythm. And here's Russell Martin, who Mets fans saw enough of in that Subway Series in the Bronx. He had a big home run in that game 3 that changed the momentum of the game after David Wright had the error. Nice was cruising, hit the home run to right field, and then of course hit the walk-off homer off John Roush later in that game as Nice's fastball is high. And this is the one that changed the game. Hairston went back close but couldn't get a beat on it. That made it 3-2, and of course that was a back and forth affair. Yankees took the lead. Mets tied it again in the 9th, but then his homer off Roush won it. There's a strike, 1-1.
Yeah, that was the game, the right era. So both those runs were unearned against Jonathan. See the numbers there for the start in the Bronx.
You know, Nice is coming off his season 14 pitch effort his last time out. He let up a 3-run home run to Jay Bruce in the first inning. That was the mistake. After that, he pitched well and did a nice job.
You know, I both young pitchers, Nice and G, as you have no one on deck. Andy Pettit's the one that should be out there trying to find his bat.
I'm just glad that good cut there by Martin. I'm just glad baseball's gotten away from this 100 pitch ceiling on pitchers now. You know, how is pitcher's going to go deeper in a ball game if you don't stretch out their arms? And you can't expect this pitcher in the minor leagues who comes up on these really tight pitch counts and expect them all of a sudden to turn it up a dial and be able to go 7 and 8 for you.
He's looking for the appeal, not there. It's 2-2, and it feels like Terry too, especially since June hit, has had much more of a leash there, depending on all kinds of factors, the situations, how tough the 100 pitches are, but he's let guys go pretty deep. He's let Nice and G work deep. Certainly Dickey. Poke to right, and right at Duda. 2 down.
And I think both Nice and G have had some courageous efforts where they've given up a lot of runs early and then were able to get to the 6th and 7th inning, sparing that bullpen with real fine work after that. There's Dahl.
Isn't he supposed to be firing people somewhere? Is he off the set?
Well, let's keep him out of the booth then.
Yeah, right. There's the mayor.
Gave the key to the city to Johan Santana today as Pettit will step in.
I better hide my 16-ounce can of Coke, Pepsi.
I have an 8-ounce cup if you'd like it.
He's not coming up to the booth, I hope.
Pettit ducks one into left center for a base hit. Pettit's a 135 career hitter. You got to remember he played in Houston a few years, so it's not like he's never swung the bat before.
Well, I guess you don't need the warm-up circle, on-deck circle sometimes.
Well, he got a hanger, didn't he? Still got to hit it.
And, you made a really good point, Kevin, and that was it's not like Jonathan Nice was unscathed in that first inning. He threw a lot of balls in the middle of the plate.
I think still he's looking to get that location down. And Nice will have 2 singles in the first, a single and a walk in this inning as CC Sabathia getting set for, quite honestly, is one of the most anticipated games in New York, regular season games in a long time. Going against R.A. Dickey Sunday night here at Citi Field. Sabathia leading the AL with his 9 wins, Dickey leading the NL with his 11 wins, and it's just already a lot of buzz. We're not even through game 1 of this series.
What Terry Collins say? I'm a fan of the game, and I love classic matchups between pitchers.
Well, classic in the terms of excitement, but anything but classic in the terms of who's actually on the mound. 0-1 to Jeter. Granted back to Nice's first time, and Nice uncorks one. Nikias had no shot. Wild pitch, and the runners advance.
Well, from the stretch, Jonathan has just been all over the place, especially up in the strike zone. And there's no chance for Nikias, who's looking for that ball middle in, and gets the ball over his head away.
Well, it's the big out right here. Base hit makes it a 5-2 ball game. It's a brand new game.
Yep. One to Jeter is low. Jeter, who over his career has just done enough against the Mets. 378 career mark against the Amazons. And there you see his numbers in scoring position. He's having another great year, but Nice needs this out. Otherwise, the Yankees jump right back in it. 2-1. Just missed inside, trying to get that cutter on the inside quarter, I guess, but it's just not there.
Keith, you were doing it with your motion. His arm slot is a little down. He's around the side of the ball, dropping his arm just a little bit. Got to get more on top.
Well, more importantly, when he drops his arm angle down, it's a tip off to the hitter.
Yeah.
His fastball's at a higher elevation of release, and you drop a little further down.
Through the screens, Cedeno stays with it. Nicely done, inning over. So it's for the second straight inning, the Yankees strand 2. Mets up by 5. To find his rhythm a little bit, Ronnie.
You know, a lot of times what happens, they're congratulating each other because they got out of it, but you can see Nicky is telling him, make sure you snap that curveball. Just don't let it, just spin it in there, snap it in there, and make it have a good break. And when you watch Jonathan Nice, what was really a struggle for him is you'll see how his elbow is leading first, and when you do that, you have a late release with your ball. When you have a late release, the ball is going to be up in the strike zone. But you like to see that little drop and drive he has there.
I do. I love it. You don't see a lot of that. I mean, he really gets down low and pushes off that rubber.
Ronnie Cedeno leads it off in the home second for the Mets, up 5-0. Cut and a miss, and he's in the 0-2 hole. Let's go downstairs to Eamon McEnany.
Well, Kevin, you know, it was interesting. Wednesday night, Keith was telling us that back in his day when he was playing, the players didn't have rehab assignments in the minor leagues. And Ronnie Cedeno was honestly a bit surprised that he was right back into the starting lineup upon his return. But he mentioned that, you know, going to Buffalo was helpful because even though he wasn't facing a guy, obviously, with 243 career wins, he was facing some guys who could bring it in the mid-90s, and that helped him get his bat speed up. He felt comfortable with his hands. He still wasn't sure his bat speed was ready for the major leagues, but obviously he rewarded Terry Collins by putting him in the starting lineup with a single in the first. But he thought really facing some guys who could bring it down in Buffalo was very helpful getting right back up here to the big leagues.
Well, I mean, Terry Collins, after Jason Bay came up after a short rehab, he said that's not happening again. He wanted guys to get their stroke down there, and that's why Cedeno stayed down, quite honestly, probably for 2 or 3 extra days. 1-2 here, he hangs in. By the way, how abnormal was that first inning against Andy Pettitte, the 5 runs? Well, the last time Pettitte gave up 5 or more in the first inning, September 4th, 2001 at Toronto. That's a long time ago. Cedeno taking inside.
Interesting, the Mets hitters, not a lot of them biting on that cutter down and in, especially the right-handers.
Two-2 to Cedeno, leading it off here in the second, and fouls another one off. Still trying to come inside to Ronnie. I asked Terry Collins today if there was a thought, even though it's a lefty, about Jordan Valdez being playing again. He's been so good in the starts that he's gotten this week, and the fact that he's still here. As Cedeno swing and a miss, and Martin will throw it down to complete the play. So strikeout for Andy Pettitte, his first of the game, as he is retired. And I asked if there was that temptation, and you know, because Valdez even did get a hit against Pettitte last week, and he said, you know what, yes, there was, but we need defense in this series. And so Cedeno and Turner are getting to start tonight.
And Murphy's on the pine because he wants the defense. That's the logical end of that.
Pettitte threw 33 pitches in that first inning. A lot of them coming with 2 outs as Wright takes inside ball 1. David's on an 11-game hit streak now. During that time, 366 with 6 RBIs, as you see Murph in the new mustache.
Now, is this where you'd like David occasionally, Keith, to look in, middle of the plate in?
Sure. I like him to look in a lot until they stop pitching him in. That'll stop it. They're good to get him set up inside.
Right back up the box. He's got a 12-game hitting streak.
Quite a year David is having. Quite a first half. He has just been spot on. Didn't get quite in enough, and David is so strong. Look at his eyes just focused. With the top hand coming over. Good balance. He's very strong.
Interesting with that front foot. A toe tap and no stride.
You know, that's a lot different than last year, because there were times the last 2 years where he had almost a Darryl Strawberry stride. I mean, he really had that leg kicking, Keith, you know, and it's a lot different now.
And he's had the big hands up a lot higher, if you recall. He's dropped his hands.
Now it's Hairston with right on first. A little slow. See if they can turn 2. Nope, not enough time. Jeter to Cano. His right is forced at second for the second out.
Well, Hairston's not going to get fastballs off Pettitte. He took a little off that one there.
And now Duda, who flew out, and looked like that was going to be kind of the door opening for Andy Pettitte to slither out of a big jam in that first inning, but Turner and Davis picked him up big, and the Mets scored 5. So Duda 0 for 1.
His first at bat, Lucas got a first pitch fastball that he took for a ball. Be interesting if he gets first pitch slider here in his second at bat.
Take a look at Hairston. Hairston actually has 3 steals, 3 for 4 on the year.
But off the lefty, he's really a guess base stealer. He will take off first movement by the pitcher.
Inside to Duda.
That's just a little show me pitch right there inside to let him know I'm pitching in there, and he's going to start throwing that slider down and away in the dirt and see if Lucas is going to go fishing again.
There's a strike. You know, Duda's held his own against lefties this year. I mean, against right-handers, he's hitting 271, lefties 260. So it's not like he's been terrible against lefties.
It's just not a lot of pop against left-handed hit. Although here for Hairston, you don't run here. You let Duda try to hit one out of the ballpark if he hangs a slider.
When you have a guy of this caliber with this type of move, do you even try? I mean, do you still have to be aggressive and try, or do you just stay close to the bag till he's out of the game?
Well, there's a lot of things to consider, and if you've got a great base stealer, he may pick something up out that a tip off. Yeah. You know, Lou Brock and Mickey Henderson were great students of pitchers with good moves. For a guy like myself, you just take a chance. You can sneak 10, 12 stolen bases a year and do it at the right time, late in the game, maybe early if you want to got a good pitcher out there. But off a lefty, just take a chance. So it's really like roulette.
2-1 to do it, a big swing and a miss.
I just think there's too many good things that can happen if you stay on first. You give a power hitter, it is the hero in the first inning, Turner with that big 2-out base hit. You keep the hole open with Teixeira holding him close. So there's a lot more opportunities for Lucas to get a base hit or maybe hit one out of the ballpark.
Petty will pay attention to Hairston. Mets have done a good job, but they're by no means a base stealing team, but they've done a good job in forcing the issue. Guys like Hairston has 3 bags. Rutino's got a few stolen bases. Murphy's got 5 stolen bases. You know, guys that certainly aren't threats, but as Keith said, you kind of run into them, steal them.
Well, Pettit is very much aware, obviously, of Hairston. He's not forgetting about him. And by doing this, he has just nullified any idea of Hairston trying to steal a bag.
And roller derby, they'd call off the jam right now.
2-2 and Duda. Big cut and a miss. The inning is over. So Pettit gets his second strikeout of the game, second in the inning. 5-0 Mets. We're through 2 at Citi Field. Cool shots, nighttime in New York City.
And you know what? That Met logo with the bridge in front and the skyline in the back, I think that's one of the great logos in baseball.
It is terrific. Of course, if you didn't know, they have the original Shea scoreboard one all the way out in center field, all the restaurants. Curtis Granderson leads off the third against Jonathan Nice. Takes that one down low. Granderson struck out his first at bat. Nice has pitched 7 innings each of his last 2 starts. Something that he hasn't done too often. Did it last year in June as Granderson has himself a base hit. So each inning the Yankees have had runners on, and Granderson starting off the third. Yankees' 4th hit of the night. But Nice hasn't done the 7-inning outings 3 times in a row since August of 2010. See if he can change that tonight. Now Teixeira will be the batter. 1 for 1 with a single, stranded on first base in the first inning. Talked about Alex Rodriguez's contract before. Well, Mark Teixeira in the midst of an 8-year, $180 million deal for 2016. One and one to Teixeira. Think about playing in the NL East, of course, with the Braves, and Braves trading away to Texas to get him. I think that worked out pretty well for the Rangers, getting Neftali Feliz and Elvis Andrus in that deal.
And don't forget Matt Harrison,
yes,
their left-handed starter, who I believe is 9-2 or 9-3 right now.
So you're telling me it was a good trade?
Yeah, it was very good. Very good.
That's an impressive little graphic right there. He's a fine company.
2-1, and Teixeira pops it to center. Torres makes the play for the first out of the third. Today's high-speed pitch brought to you by Verizon Fios. Welcome to life on Fios. Nice has gotten it up to 93. Pettit's fastball around 89, but 90 is high of the game so far.
A 40-year-old holding his own, though.
Pretty impressive, right? Get his boos/cheers for Alex Rodriguez as he comes to the dish, 1 for 1 with a single. On a second for 1, Turner to first, double play, 6-4-3 inning over. Now here's a word from Dunkin' Donuts featuring the hometown skippers Terry Collins and Joe Girardi. The Mets flavor there, guys.
Well, I must say, the 4 of us, Michael, actually the 5 of us, Kevin, you were out doing something. They all came into the booth and during the rain delay, and I said, it's kind of amazing here. We got 4 guys, Ronnie, myself, Al, Leiter, and Coney, all ex-Mets.
And we had quite a laugh for about a half hour, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
Sitting right next to us in the booth up here. Michael Kay leading the ship. Justin Turner leads it off for the Mets. A huge hit in the first inning for him. Again, delivering with runners in scoring position. With 2 outs, he had a 2-run single. This one, Pettit snares, and Turner retired for the first out. Meanwhile, Jonathan Neese, his best inning so far, even after the leadoff single, hits the double play. An 8-pitch inning for him. Maybe that gets him on track. Ike Davis delivered the keynote of this game so far. After Turner's 2-out, 2-run single, he smacked a 3-run rain-making bomb to right. Certainly high enough and just hit the glove of Nick Swisher and got over the right field fence to give the Mets the 5-0 spike in the first.
See a warm evening, so no jacket for Jonathan. Just wrap that valuable left arm in a towel.
Yeah, Tim Tuffle's got the sleeves on. Let's go back to the first inning, guys.
So Pettit will rue the day that he threw this pitch. He towards the end of the bat and just got to the top of the wall. But Ike was out in front and got it towards the end of the bat. That's how strong he is. If he had gotten that curveball 3 more inches away from Ike, it would have been a swing and a miss or a squibber.
Yep.
But he hung it enough in over the plate.
1-1 to Ike Davis. Cut on and miss. Our friends at Elias tell us that Ike has not had more than 1 hit in any of the last 42 games he's played at Citi Field. All 36 at home this year, where he's batting .121. And that includes his final 6 home games from last year.
Well, it's hard to believe when I read that today.
That's
right?
crazy.
You know what was hard to believe was the last series, the Grand Slam. And I'll say it real quickly. It was a 4-3 in your scorecard. That was his first 4 RBI game of his career.
Yeah.
That was pretty amazing. You wouldn't have thought that.
Just think with his power, at some point he'd come up and knock a grand slam or have one of those days. But forget all the time that Ike missed last year. You see him around, you feel like he's been here for 5 years. He hasn't. I mean, he's still relatively new, missing all that time last year after that freak accident. Hurting the ankle in Colorado in May, as now Nickius the batter with 2 down and the bases empty. There's a strike.
Aha.
It's in with Pedro.
Don Juan and Don Cesar.
Nickius getting the start for the 2nd straight night. And an RBI single Wednesday night against the Orioles. 2-out single in the first inning against Pettit. One's in the dirt. 2-1 to Mike Nickius.
That could be your next ad campaign. You could be the most interesting man on the planet. Huh?
That's right.
You can carry that off.
I like that.
Yeah,
ad.
you could carry that off easily.
I love that ad. I have it. Illusions of grandeur.
Presidents take the day off on your birthday.
Yep.
There you go.
That's a start.
Your own grill. You've made it. (3-1) to Nickius with 2 down. And just a little hot for Jeter. And Andy Pettit has his first 1-2-3 inning. We're through 3 at Citi Field. It's 5-0 Mets. Second installment of the Subway Series. This one in Flushing. Great shot. The nighttime New York sky. Nice job, fellas. Mets looking for a little revenge after getting swept in the Bronx. So far, so good for them. Up 5-0. Mike Davis, a 3-run home run. Justin Turner, a 2-run single, all with 2 outs in the first off Andy Pettit. Robinson Cano leads off the fourth. Strikeout victim his first time up. Cano's numbers interesting this year, guys. He has been traditionally, at least the last few years, very good against left-handed pitching. 303 from 09 through 2011, but this year down to 237 against the left-handers.
Well, when the first series in the Bronx, Kev, we went in there for the first game. He was on the interstate against left-handers, so he's made a slow climb, and he also had a great series against the Mets and hit left-handers well that series.
I started against Johan Santana. He attacked 2 first pitches and hit 2 home runs against him. Is that something you'll do, Keith? You know, in case of a left-hander, if you're not seeing lefties well, will you go up there and try and anticipate maybe a first pitch fastball, try and jump on one to get you started?
Well, yes, not over the plate.
Yeah.
If I'm struggling against a left-hander, I would take inside and always look fastball anyway, but look for something out over the plate.
0-2 here. And Cano stays alive barely.
You know, the game hasn't changed, Kev. You know, it's been going on for well over 100 years, and I know they keep trying to reinvent it, but you go in a slump, you're out in front. Everybody goes through it. Everybody, since for 25 plus years, has always tried to work it back deeper in the strike zone, make contact. Nothing's changed.
Justin Turner at second, and we'll throw to Davis. Cano retired, 1 away. Well, we started the broadcast talking about Jonathan Nice, among other things, and Ronnie, you talked about him stepping it up to the next level. And you know, Eli's sending over a note on Nice that really defines what you're talking about. Since mid-June last year, Nice's career record, and this is wild how it's just stayed on this track as we see Swisher come up to the plate. His record has been 17-17, 18-18, 19-19, 20-20. This is career record, by the way. 22-22, and so on through 26-26. The only one he skipped was 21-21. But that kind of defines what you're talking about. He's had some great performances. He just hasn't been able to string, say, 2 months together worth of that.
Well, it's you know, it is about that time that he starts going on those win streaks. He's got that kind of stuff. You know, everyone kind of gets their career going at different kind of levels. Jonathan, it's, you know, at 25 years old, still very young, figuring out how to win consistently in the major leagues. But the guy he's pitching against today, at the same age, was 51-24, had an 18-win season, a 21-win season, and a World Series. That being said, certainly Jonathan hasn't pitched for the same teams that Andy pitched for, but those are the things you aspire.
Obviously, the Mets believe that he can do that, giving him a $25 million contract with a couple option years early this season. As Swisher slaps one into center, he's got himself a base hit. So the Yankees have had runners on at least one every inning so far. Swisher now 1 for 2.
Well, it's been their nemesis this year. They've been a team much like the Orioles, relying on the home run. They have not hit well in the clutch, particularly with 2 outs. So, you know, they got a lot of guys that can hit the bombs. Oh, wow, Miami.
Get one of those everyday players for the Marlins, get them ready for the 8th and 9th.
And they've lost 13 of 15. And crazy thing is they get swept in Boston. They had a lead in every one of those games. So they've gotten blown out. They've had leads they've blown. They just can't do anything right now.
Well, more importantly, Kev, they go into tonight 8 games back. You are on the precipice there. You don't want to let it get too out of hand, get in the double digits. The Nationals are losing in the 4th to Baltimore 1-0 right now.
Turner, through the mist, which has started here at Citi Field, makes the catch, and there's 2 down. Well, you're right, Keith. I mean, certainly looks like this division could be very tight for the entire duration, but 8 games, even though it's mid-June, 8 games is a lot of games.
Well, it's not. You can come back from that, but when you start getting 10, 12, 15 games out, I mean, that's tough.
Plus, you also have to count on the 4 teams ahead of you to kind of go in the tank also, because you have to climb above them.
Russell Martin now with a runner on first and 2 down. He flew out to right his first at bat. There's low ball 4. A couple of notes around the major leagues tonight. Roy Oswalt making his Texas debut. And the Rangers are up 2-0. Oswalt threw 4 in that one, has 4 strikeouts. Just adding to an already terrific team. Scott Feldman goes to the bullpen for him. And Cliff Lee on the mound for the Phillies and the Rays. The Cliff Lee that is 0-3 as we near July, which is still hard to believe. There's a strike. That game's in a delay. I don't know if they've called that. It still says delay right now. Cody Epley warming for the Yanks in the pen. Rain coming down a little bit here. Hopefully it doesn't get much harder. Outside corner for Nice. 2-2 to Martin.
Boy, that's a good pitch. 2-1. Just dotted that outside corner. Nothing you can do if you're the hitter here.
Martin stays alive.
Interesting. Nice has not been able to get his curveball into the rotation here of pitches. That's what happens when you're 40. You don't need to swing. Already got a base hit.
Oh,
have a seat.
I thought it was a first. 2 bad boys.
So like a bad boy, move over there, sit on the railing. I got the seat.
How exciting for that young man.
Right.
By the way, when you have 243 career wins, you could do that. First full count of the game for Nice with 2 down and a runner on. These have had runners in each inning here. Runner will be in motion. Martin, though, hits it right where Turner was set up, and he throws the first inning over. So Nice settling in a little bit against these Yankees. Bottom 4 we go. Mets up by 5. Rain delay to start. It's been lightly raining here, trying to avoid the raindrops as the Mets getting Jonathan Nice seeming to get back on track here. He's trying to find it the first couple innings, as good as last 2 innings, and then clutch RBIs for the Mets. A story like it's been all year long. 2 out, 2-run single from Justin Turner in the first, and a 2 out, 3-run jack for Ike Davis, his 8th of the year. That's the scoring so far. Nice will lead it off. He singled his last time up.
National League game. This could be Andy Pettit's last inning of work.
John Franco. These Yankees want to throw some lefties against us. Maybe Franco goes down to the pen a little later. I mean, the Mets are playing with only 6 relievers tonight.
If that's Johnny's security, he's got to get a couple of bigger guys here.
I think he's going the incognito route.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
What he's trying to do. And you look at this Yankees team. They have been on some run. I mean, yes, the 10-game win streak ended after the Braves took the last 2 of that series this week. as Nice goes down on strike. So Pettit picks up his third strikeout of the night, 1 away. But they've won 20 of their last 26. And certainly home runs have been a big factor, but their starting pitching has been terrific. Starters 18-4 with a 3.06 ERA in that time.
And the other thing for Joe Girardi and Larry Rothschild, their pitching coach, the bullpen didn't miss a click with Mariano Rivera going down, David Robertson going down, and everyone just picked it up a notch.
Here's Torres with 1 down. He takes a strike on the inside corner. Torres 0 for 1 with a walk, flew out to center. He got 2 at bats in the first inning. It's always a good thing if you could do that. 212 coming into this game overall, much better from the right-handed side. Quickly in the 0-2 hole here. Around some scores. Cardinals lead the Royals 10-1 tonight. As there's David Robinson, just activated a week ago, back in that familiar 8th inning role. Soriano closing. So the Cardinals up on the Royals 10-1. Carlos Beltran with 4 more RBIs. I mean, he is having a year.
And that Miami game that they're getting blown out, that was Josh Johnson getting that start.
Really?
Yes.
He's had a very indifferent year so far.
Isn't that strange? Because you think about the start that we saw Johnson here, and Keith, you thought that was, as good as he's ever looked,
yes.
Right?
He was as good as he's ever looked at the opening day start. And you see St. Louis's night there. Carlos Beltran, a big part of that big Cardinal offensive display.
See the Dodgers Angels for later. Chance for Rodriguez. Strong throw just in time. Torres, little hop, thought he might have beat it out. And A-Rod breathes a sigh of relief. 2 out.
A-Rod put a little mustard on this throw. Watch him do a little pirouette here, and he gets out of camera view there. But he almost threw it away. Maybe we'll get a better look here. Watch him do a little spin, a little dance. Yeah.
That's a good play.
Well, Teixeira is a very accomplished fielder. 4 Gold Gloves. And A-Rod, of course, with 2.
Well, you talked about it before. There's gold all over the place there in the Yankee infield.
4 with Teixeira, 5 with Jeter, 10 with Andrew Jones in left. You've got A-Rod with 2, Russell Martin with 1 back in 2007, and Cano in 2010 got his first. So there's some serious medals out there.
Pettit has Cedeno in a 1-2 hole. Meanwhile, Pettit coming off his first 1-2-3 inning. He's retired the last 6.
He's throwing better right now than he has all game, and he might not be able to pitch another inning.
You're right.
A National League game.
Yep. He's just got his stuff together right here this inning.
1-2 to Cedeno, and a swing and a miss. Cedeno down on strikes, and the inning's over. So Pettit in a groove. His 4th strikeout through 4. That's up 5-zip. Vehicles at the best values in America. Visit your Tri-State Ford dealers today. 5-0 Mets, the second installment of the Subway Series. This time at Citi Field. And Andy Pettitte has gotten in a little groove, retiring 7 in a row. So even though he leads off here, Joe Girardi's sticking with him to hit.
I know Joe's familiar with the National League rules. Manager there in Miami a few seasons ago.
Pettitte will lead it off. Yankees have had at least one base runner all 4 innings against Jonathan Nice, but he has done the job to get out of it. The pen is silent for the Yankees.
That field turf from the bullpen, huh?
I don't think Billy Deacon has enough to worry about with the field, so take a flyer, put that out there. Pettitte behind the fastball. He's in an 0-2 hole. And Pettitte down on 3 pitches. Strikeout for Jonathan Nice. That's his 3rd of the game. You know, Terry Collins was asked today about the younger players being in all of these Yankees. When you look at the lineup, obviously the guy that's coming up to the plate right now, and Alex Rodriguez and Pettitte and guys like that. And, his quote was great. He said, well, you got to forget the names on the uniforms. Of course, Yankees don't have the names on their uniforms. But you get the idea what Terry was trying to say. And you know, I guess it helps because they already have faced them, and they faced them a couple weeks ago. But, you know, Keith, do you think that there is, for the younger guys that, I don't know if all factor is the right word, but do you think there is that element to it and getting past that and just playing the game?
I think it's probably more at Yankee Stadium because you add a Yankee Stadium into the mix too, and all the history there and the great players. But I gotta believe, once you put the uniform on, there you see Jeter's all-time rankings, and it's pretty amazing. I mean, he's the only Yankee with 3,000 hits.
Yeah,
and you wouldn't think that. And all the great players that have come down the pike, and look at him right there. He's just a great player and a good guy. Good things happen to good people.
Turns 38 on Tuesday, 1-1, and East 91 miles an hour right by him, 1-2.
You know, the thing is that, and I think Keith said it right, his fastball just beats Derek, is that, when you put the uniform on, you kind of forget about all that kind of stuff. And in fact, it gives you a chance to really get a notch on your belt to take a team like this down. You got a guy with 3,000 plus hits. You got Granderson who has 41 home runs. Teixeira's 30 and 100 every year. A-Rod's got 600 plus. I mean, it really gives an opportunity to knock down some real greats.
1-2 to Jeter. Taps it foul. He's one with a breaker there.
Well, I'll tell you what, Kev, if I had to put the uniform on and go back in time, say play for the Washington Senators, and there was the 27 Yankees, that'd be a tough one to, I think I'd have a tough time swallowing. The Ruth Gehrig and that crew.
That's right.
Rodriguez is trying to stay limber. Again, the 1-2 to Jeter. Lays off. He's wanted that one.
Well, Derek is always going to get those calls.
At the end of his career, and Derek's certainly not at the end of his career, still thriving. But Pete Rose, at the end of his career, you can see that's down.
Yep.
You could not get a called strike on Pete Rose. Forget about a third strike.
Oh boy, he's tying him up inside.
Went after that so late and just got a little tick off the bat.
Jeter's 90 hits, first in the American League. In fact, second in Major League Baseball. The only one with more is his former teammate, Melky Cabrera in San Francisco. That's been a whole other story altogether. How about that trade? Jonathan Sanchez to KC for Melky Cabrera. You think, that'll help both teams. Cabrera's got the most hits in the bigs. He and Angel Pagan have had the outfield renaissance in San Fran. Jeter hanging in.
Well, Melky started his career in the Yankee uniform, and he was a young player. He was a fourth outfielder kind of player. Did a lot of good things for them. But they never thought that he would become the player, obviously, that he's become now with his great season last year in Kansas City and continuing in San Francisco.
8th pitch to Jeter. Backhand Cedeno. Now the long throw. The stretch by Ike stays on the bag, and he got him. Ike looks at the offense, and there he shows you the D.
Well, I tell you what, so Cedeno flashing leather here too. And a nice stretch by Ike. This is a nice backhand. Takes the second step to plant for the throw. And a nice stretch by Ike. Wow. There you go.
If there's any part of the field that's a little wet, that would be right behind shortstop.
Now Granderson with 2 down. And it's ball 1 to Curtis. 1 for 2 with a single and a strikeout so far today. Anderson 21 home runs, and he does have 7 of them against left-handers.
He's for real.
See slight rain coming down. 2-0 and to right at Duda. Good inning, Jonathan Neese. 1, 2, 3 go the Yanks. Bottom 5 we go. Mets up by 5. Mission by Verizon Fios. Welcome to life on Fios.
What a nice shot that is.
Yeah, we've had some great ones tonight. Excellent work.
I hit a home run off that apple. Only one.
I think that apple has been touched up a little bit more paper mache and some paint, though. The original, I guess, in spirit. Good night for the Mets so far. 5-0 over the Yanks. David Wright is 1 for 2 with a single. He's got himself a 12-game hitting streak right now. Andy Pettit, though, has settled in, guys, after that rough beginning, that 5-run first, and a little shaky in the second. Well, he's retired 7 Mets in a row.
He got mad at himself there. He's not getting that cutter over.
It's 2-2 to right. Again, the same thing there. Just took a little bit off. Just instead of that 89-90, you know, takes a little bit off that fastball. David's out in front.
Ooh, a cue shot that went off his foot. Let me ask you, as you know, we always talk about throwing a changeup, how you kind of choke. You're supposed to choke the ball, Ronnie, right?
Yeah.
So how do you take a little off when you're throwing a fastball, but you know you're only taking 2-3 miles an hour off?
I used to not push off.
Really?
Do everything that you do with the regular thing, but just have a lazy back leg. That way you're not really pushing into the ball. You're not going to get that 2-3 mile an hour extra. But it was something that was a great pitch. Now I don't know if it'll work as well today, but in the years I played, if it was 2-0, guys were looking for a ball middle of the plate in and looking to pull the ball. Guys, not so much today.
Look at that number. Pettit on the Yankee record books as Wright takes strike 3. Pettit now has 5 strikeouts, 1 down in the 5th.
Not a great pitch, Ronnie. Just got in and up. It's up.
I think you're right. David recognized it as up out of the strike zone and then couldn't pull the trigger.
And he knew it. He's on top of the plate. Look at David. I like that.
Scott Hairston 0 for 1, walked and scored in the first on Turner. Actually, he scored on the Ike Davis 3-run home run. You know, Hairston has had a terrific year. We told you he's been creaming left-handers. You see his numbers was 284 coming in, 9 home runs, 27 RBIs. Those 27 RBIs were at only 134 at bats. But here's the thing: 134 at bats. He only had 132 all of last year. This one skied to Swisher, and he'll make the grab and quickly 2 away. I mean, that's an enormous difference. I mean, we're 40%. He's got 60% of the season. He's already got more at bats.
Well, he had a couple of problems with the rib cage injury last season, and keeping him healthy is going to be important for the Mets this year.
I think he also got off to a slow start, and this year he got off to a fast start. So Terry has. It seems, you know, listening to Terry today that, you know, he's been feeling out this lineup for a while now. And a couple weeks ago, he said he wanted to get into kind of an everyday lineup. It seems, listening to him today, that he is comfortable with the righty lineup and the lefty lineup.
That means that if you're on the team, you've got to get comfortable with it too. Duda and Ike Davis in the lineup tonight. Murphy out. Neuenhuis out.
Duda's had a hard time against Pettit, 0 for 2. Ronnie, as you mentioned, struck out 3 times against him in the stadium a couple weeks ago, and quickly in an 0-2 hole with Turner on deck.
Yeah, 4 of the 5 at bats now resulted in strikeouts for Duda against Pettit.
He just pitches him inside enough, doesn't he? Just to keep him honest. He knows exactly what he's doing.
One-two to Duda. Back to the first inning, and Pettit got Duda to pop up to center field with the bases loaded for the second out. Looked like he was going to get out unscathed, but the Mets put 5 on the board with 2 outs. It's a difference in the game right now because Pettit has found his groove, setting down 9 Mets in a row.
Will he throw him a 3rd straight slider or come in with a fastball?
Slider.
Payoff pitch, and Duda rips it for a base hit right side.
Oh, Duda stays in. Got a hanger here. And Pettit is really very fortunate he didn't lift this. Lucas is not one of those widespread hitters. Big leg kick. His feet close together in his stance, almost shoulder length. Shoulder width, excuse me.
Yeah, he's one of those guys they always talk about getting the foot down and in position to hit.
So now it's Turner, 1 for 2 with the big hit in the first. A good at bat against Pettit, and a 2-run, 2-out single to get the Mets going in this game. Pettit wants a new baseball. Every Mets starter tonight has reached base. That includes Nice. Take a check on Duda, who is not going anywhere. Manny Pettit, a 22nd round pick of the Yanks back in 1990. Deer Park High School, just outside of Houston. That was a good pick. Jeter, a force out at second, and the inning is over. So the Mets have 1 hit. They leave 1. They fail to score. Bottom 5 we go.
Grounds came to life once more. Familiar old faces showed up in new uniform, the uniform of the Mets, the baby of the expanded National League. When the Mets came to the Polo Grounds, something happened to the National League fans of the 5 boroughs. Sports writers called it the birth of a new breed of fans. Some called it a baseball revival.
That is great old footage, that's for sure. I love the Mr. Met bobblehead.
Yeah.
That was pretty sweet. Teixeira leads off the 6th for the Yanks, and a 5-0 Met lead. And
you know, it's interesting when you're seeing Andy Pettitte in between innings with his catcher Russell Martin. Sometimes as a pitcher, you just want to vent, and the catcher's the one you're venting to. He's not angry at Martin. He's angry at himself for hanging that slider to Lucas Duda.
It's just competitive nature.
Yep.
And Nice gets Teixeira on the whip. His 4th strikeout.
Pretty simple. Fastball up that just beats Teixeira.
Yep.
Now in his last 4 starts, 4 walks, 27 strikeouts for Jonathan.
He's used that high fastball a little bit today.
He has. And once he starts wrinkling in that curve, the first pitch to Teixeira was a curve for a strike. Starts getting that in. That's the full package.
Here's Rodriguez. Single, but he grounded into a big double play in the 3rd. Cano on deck. Rodriguez deep to center field. Torres on his horse, and that goes to shutout right in the apple. Home run number 12 for Alex Rodriguez. And the Yankees on the board. It's 5-1. Career homer 641 for A-Rod. 5th place all time.
Well, he likes that ball out over the plate. It's a low and be a backdoor slider, comes right down the pipe. And this is a 3-point bucket right here. And he's right on it. Full extension. Right where you want to hit it. Right.
Remember his first at bat, he fouled a similar pitch straight back. Not this time.
Well, the Yankees on the board. That breaks the shutout that Nice sent on the board. Here's Robinson Cano taking strike 1. A lot of talk about Alex Rodriguez and his struggles. He had a home run the other day, but grounded in a double play, and that's what people talk about. But yeah, he's still got plenty of power.
Boy, here come the Yankee fans, and the Met fans are fighting back. I have not seen this ballpark this electric in a long time.
This is fantastic.
I wouldn't want to be under the same roof.
Split relationship. Cano goes down on strikes as Nice going with that high heat again. Strikeout number 5 for Nice, and there's 2 away.
He's been getting the strikeouts with his fastball, Ronnie.
Cano looks like he's just been a little late on that fastball, not picking it up to Nice so far this evening.
He's on top of the plate.
And now Swisher with 2 down. You know, talk about this Mets team. They've been resilient. They got swept by the Yankees, and you think, oh boy, how they pick themselves off the mat. They did. They go down and sweep a really good Tampa team. Got swept by the Reds, and then sweep away an Orioles team that's playing well. I go back to a comment about Terry Collins after the Santana no-hitter that said it gave this team credibility that they needed. What would winning this series do?
Well, I think that, you know, what happens for the Mets is that, other than the Frank Francisco comments, both sides have been very professional about this. You know, it's just another game. We just, you know, want to play well tonight, try to get the win tonight. But I think for a Mets team and Mets players, after getting swept in Yankee Stadium, you want to make a statement in your own ballpark also. And, you know, the Yankee team is where Mets want to be, perennially in the postseason. That's where they want to be sometime themselves.
Duda racing in, and he'll get there and make the catch, and the inning is over. Yankees break the shutout, though. Alex Rodriguez career home run, 641 to dead center against Jonathan Neese. Still the Mets in front, 5-1. We played 5.5. Subscribe to MLB.tv today to see every Mets Out of Market game live online and on your favorite devices in HD quality. Visit Mets.com to order and get more details. MLB.tv, baseball everywhere, like here tonight in Flushing, Queens. Citi Field, 5-1 Mets. Bottom of the 6th inning as Ike Davis will lead it off. He's got the big hit of the game. A 3-run home run against Andy Pettitte in the first inning with 2 down, his 8th of the year. Yankees, though, getting on the board. Alex Rodriguez's 12th home run of the year in the top of the inning. And A-Rod's second career home run at Citi Field. So 5-1. You see, we've had that on and off light rain after the 53-minute rain delay to start tonight. Hopefully it stays right there.
Well, they're still waiting to play in Philadelphia. They're going to be there all night.
Obviously, it's an official game here, but try and finish that out. 1-1 to Ike Davis. He takes a strike. Looks a little harder on that scoreboard. Pirates winning again. They've won 4 of 5. Took down the Twins yesterday. James McDonald with a complete game. And Davis down on strikes. Martin tags him, and there's one away. Well, Terry Collins was talking about these young Mets facing these Yankees and stepping up to the task before the game.
These same guys that were here were in Yankee Stadium a few days ago. So, I mean, they know what it's like. They know the atmosphere. Hopefully they learn something from playing in Yankee Stadium, and they're that much better because of it. But, you know, I think it's when you hear from your peers, hey, look, slow down, slow the game down here a little bit. You know, don't get caught up in all the electricity. You know, play, because from us, you know, sometimes they don't listen that well. But when it comes from one of the players, one of their teammates, it's a little better.
There you see Terry. Keith, what does he mean by that? You know, just being honest, saying, hey, that type of message comes better from your teammates than the coaching staff.
What, the rebellious nature of young men? I don't know.
Sounds like a novel of some sort.
It plays to David Wright, Santana. When they say something about it kind of import, they listen. The young players are going to listen.
Nikias to center. Granderson didn't have to move much, and there's 2 down. Is that also, you know, a way of Terry for, you know, allowing Wright and Santana guys like that to lead? Is that a way?
Oh, I think he wants it.
Yeah.
He wants that from those 2 players. Absolutely. From the get-go. I mean, Terry's the boss, and the players love him. They love playing for him. And he has their respect, but he wants help from a couple of those veteran players.
Here is Nice. Corey Wade getting up in the Yankees pen. As Pettit at 98 pitches right now. This very well could be final inning for him. Working to Nice, who's 1 for 2 with a single tonight. After the first couple innings, he's settled in despite the home run to Rodriguez. Behind on that swing, and it's 1-2.
Well, it just took Pettit around 3 innings to find his groove. But the horses may be out of the barn.
He had that 33 pitch first inning too, set him back a little bit. Two to Nice, and he hits one softly to Cano. Cano to Teixeira, inning over. Another 1-2-3 inning for Andy Pettit, who's had a nice last 3 innings. Mets up by 4 after 6. New York State. Discover what you love. Plan your vacation now. Andy Pettit's day is done. He's due to hit here in the 7th inning. Talking to Larry Rothschild, the pitching coach for the Yanks.
You know, when you have the line that Andy has behind 5-1 here, you're just ruining that first inning and that mistake, of course, to Ike Davis. And as a pitching coach, you're telling your pitcher, you know, you've been around. We're just going to have to get out of the blocks a little quicker. Just looked like it had a hard time getting loose early in the game, and by the end he was right on time.
He was 1 out away from a scoreless inning. That's right. Scored 5 2-out runs.
True.
Something they've been very good at.
And even with that, every start this year since he's come back, he's had at least 6 innings for Pettit. Just again, ultra consistency. But 2 out hits for the Mets, the difference, and he's scheduled to hit third, so his night is done. Andrew Jones leading it off for the Yankees against Jonathan Nice, who had a rocky first couple innings but has settled in. He's allowed 6 Yankee hits. Of course, the run was the solo homer to Alex Rodriguez last inning. Corey Wade, former Dodger, looks like he'll be in next. Warming in the Yankee pen. And Jones unloads deep to left field. Hairston back at the track. No chance. It's a home run. 7th home run of the year for Andrew Jones. And the Yankees have a couple solo shots to make it a 3-run game.
Low ball, I'm sure, has lots of plate.
2-0 count. Boy. Well, this is how the Yankees score. They score almost half their runs via the home run. So,
couple numbers on Yankee power. 105 home runs coming into the game. That's #1 in Major League Baseball. And yeah, despite the short porch, 47 on the road. The Mets have only hit 55 coming into tonight. Obviously, have the Davis home run. And one more on that as Martin to right. Duda's got a beat on it, makes the catch for the first out. You see Jason Nix come on and pinch hit as Burdack and Parnell won for the Mets. But the starters for tonight, for both the Yankees and Mets, their numbers: 89 home runs for the Yanks, 38 for the Mets.
Yeah.
Big difference.
Well, I will tell you, though, as a pitcher and facing this Yankee lineup, give up a couple solo home runs. That's a good effort. Good job.
That's what Ferguson Jenkins and Catfish Hunter were the master of.
Well, I mean, look at Nice's last start, Ronnie. He gave up a home run to Jay Bruce, but it was a 3-run shot in the first.
And the same for Andy Pettit in the first today.
Just as an aside, that was Andrew Jones's 427th career home run.
Wow, what a career.
It went against Johan Santana in the Bronx a couple weeks ago. Jason Nix is backup shortstop for Jeter. Pinch hitting for Pettit here with one down. Takes a strike. Got the start in the Wednesday game against the Braves. Went 0 for 4, one for his last 11. He's stealing there, and it's 1-2.
Very rarely see Jonathan double up on that curveball. After you throw one for a strike, it's a great time to bounce one. You've established to the hitter that you can throw it for a strike.
Cedeno goes under the glove. Cedeno had Nick shaded a little bit towards third, couldn't get there.
Well, nice effort. Got a glove on it.
Terry Collins going to come out. Jeter back to the top of the order. See if Collins makes the switch. Nice has had 102 pitches. Excuse me, that was his 100th pitch. And that'll be it for Jonathan Nice. His call, the bullpen, is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Nice is done. And Bobby Parnell. as the Yankees trying to come to life a little bit here. Mets up by 3.
Well, Parnell got that 2 big outs against the Orioles in his last appearance. The last one, a fly ball by Chris Davis that stayed in the ballpark.
Here's Parnell against Jeter. Misses away, ball 1. Parnell, the last couple outings has been good, although almost gave up the go-ahead 3-run home run to Chris Davis on Wednesday. Nonetheless, unscored upon his last 3 outings. Jason Nix on first. Mets up by 3 in the 7th. That's low and away. 2-0. Parnell against the Yankees on June 10th. It's the last time he gave up any runs. He blew a save in that one. Didn't get credit for any part of an inning. 4 hits, 2 runs. Now, note on that, though, there was a big error in the inning. He also had a couple of. Teixeira had a little blooper.
That's
there was
right.
a bleeder, so it wasn't an inning he came in and got racked at all.
It was in the 8th inning, and here he is in the 7th, and it was the same starting pitcher. He came in with a 3-2 lead, if you recall, in that game at Yankee Stadium for Nice, trying to protect that lead.
2-0 to Jeter. Slowly hits it. Año will go to second, and the return to first is high. It sails, and the railing prevented Jeter from going to second there. Turner had quite the slide by Nix. See if he and that ankle are all right.
Well, you know Turner's going to hang in there. Yep. He's hard-nosed. And it might have been better for him in a slow roller just to kind of ole. But he's always going to try to turn it. Could have been a lot worse.
Yeah. Well, he made Nix go through the base. And when you go through the base like that, a little more difficult for the guy to get a clean piece at you.
So 2 down. Jeter on the fielder's choice. And that brings up Granderson, who's 1 for 3 tonight. And you see, of course, dangerous with those 21 home runs. 14 of them coming against right-handers. Granderson takes a strike. Last few outings, Parnell has really been throwing hard, especially in that Baltimore series. He's been dialing back at times this year. See how he deals to Granderson 0-1. On the fastball high, 1-1 to Granderson.
Good pitch.
Fastball caught the corner.
I'll tell you what, Ronnie, Parnell's been bringing 96 steady now. The last 3 times out, he's been pounding here.
And on the corner.
And he got him. 95-mile-an-hour fastball, and Granderson takes the seat. So Parnell comes in to help out Jonathan Nice. Yankees get a run on the home run by Jones, but Parnell blows away Granderson. Amazing Spider-Man. It's in theaters July 3rd. Corey Wade on to relieve Andy Pettitte for the Yanks as we play the bottom of the 7th at Citi Field.
Another one of those Yankee relievers that has stepped it up a notch since Rivera and Robertson went down. Robertson is back. Good changeup, good breaking ball from Corey.
One-time Dodger faces Andres Torres at the top of the order for the Mets. Torres 0 for 2 with a walk tonight. See that light rain still coming down. It stays that way.
Well, it looks like Philadelphia, they're going to be playing a doubleheader tomorrow. They got called. That game is postponed due to rain. Phillies in last place.
2-1 to Torres, so Cliff Lee will have to wait another day.
You know what that means, though? The rain's coming here.
Always.
Torres, oh, stop by Teixeira.
Well, they don't give the goal away for nothing. Just a fine play. That's pure reaction. When you're playing in like that, you are become the first base hot corner here. That's the play of the game, Kev.
Yes, it is. Thanks for the segue, Keith. Brought to you by Mazda, the all-new Mazda C5, 35 highway miles per gallon. CX5, excuse me.
That is a great shot right there. You saw the ball off the bat, the reaction of Teixeira, 4-time Gold Glover.
The one time that a right-handed first baseman helps him. Glove on that side.
It's true. Omar Quintanilla, with the righty now in the game, will take over for Ronnie Cedeno. Cedeno in his Mets return with 1 for 3, couple strikeouts, single and a run scored. So Quintanilla get in there. That's short. Get his first at bat of the game. He fouls it straight back. Interesting move by Terry Collins here. Just going left to right. Both guys play solid defense at short.
Well, with this Yankee lineup and a 3-run lead, maybe feels it's not enough. Trying to do anything you can to build on it. You're not going to get hurt defensively with Quintanilla out there. That's for sure.
One-two from Wade, and Quintanilla's got himself a base hit. Bring up David Wright, 1 for 3, single and a run scored in this one. Right now has a 12-game hitting streak.
Ooh, what a rip.
He was looking in, Keith.
Yes, he was. And what David does, he needs to kind of maybe correct. This is a home run swing right there, and I like that. Letting it loose first pitch. He lifts, watch his front shoulder. He really tucks it, and then he lifts up. So he gets the home run swing, and he gets under. I like to see him get such a lift in that front shoulder. But that is a rip.
You don't see that from David too often.
I love it.
Swing like that was a Scott Hairston swing.
Wade made sure that ball was in off the plate.
Quintanilla hasn't attempted a stolen base on the year. 1-1 to right. A big cut and a miss, and Quintanilla, a big jump, gets on back. See the security guy put on the rain jacket in the back? It's not a good sign. You need to.
Just got the information on the walkie-talkie, right?
Let those raindrops hang on for just a little while longer. Wade paying attention to Quintanilla. 5-2 Mets playing the home seventh. All the Mets scoring in the first. As Clay Rapata, who's been tremendous of late for the Yanks, starts to warm with Duda and later Ike in the order. Batista warming for the Mets. Looks like he'll be on for the eighth. Crowd responding to Eli Manning on the big board, starting a "Let's Go Mets" chant.
That's a first.
I've never seen that before.
He was here last series against the Orioles.
Waits 2-2 to right. Rushes him way back, and the count's full. There goes Quintanilla, and right puts a charge into one. Deep left center field, and this one is going to run off the wall. Quintanilla's rounding third. He's going to come on in and score. It's an RBI double for David Wright. 6-2 Mets.
Well, hanging curveball here on a tee. Got out enough where David could get he got the good barrel on it, but he had to extend his hand, stayed back a little out in front. But another great rip, and that is a big run to drive in right there. Yankees trying to claw their way back into this game. And there it is, out in front to get that. And that's a huge run driven in.
So Wright gives the momentum back to the Mets, and Hairston with a swing and a miss. These Mets taking Ruthian swings against Corey Wade. Harrison's 0 for 2 with a walk tonight. He scored in the first inning on the Ike Davis home run. 6-2 Mets. Playing the home seventh at Citi Field.
Ooh, boy, another hanger. Oh, Wade better can that curveball. Maybe rubbing up a new one.
Hairston in the 0-2 hole. Martin gets out and blocks that enough to keep Wright at second base. Duda's on deck. Wonderful to see Clay Rapata, the lefty side armor for him, likely. We'll see which way Joe Girardi goes. I guess if Terry didn't like that matchup, he could always put Latino up there and put Neuheis in for defense. He's got some options. Just missed that one.
It is out of the strike zone enough.
Wade, a pretty slow worker out there.
One, two. Harrison checks his swing. Did not go around. Ken McClellan on the appeal says no. The Hairston hanging in.
Well, today's game hope the umpire doesn't ring you up.
Nice job, though, by Marvin Hudson going right to Tim McClellan, the first base umpire, and trying to get some help.
Hairston to left, fading fast, diving, and making the catch, and David Wright is nowhere to be found, and he's out at second. David Wright just got a bad read and thought that was falling in, but Andrew Jones said, He doubles him up, and the inning is over. Nice play. Wright did contribute, though, with the offense in the inning. His 24th double of the year pads the Mets lead. 6-2 Mets. .4G, take it with you internet. Howard Thompson and Greg Mocker looking out for the good guys. They're calling foul on all the swindlers, con artists, and thieves. Help me, Howard and Greg Mocker, weeknights at 5 and 10 on the Pix 11 News. Omar Quintanilla came in to pinch hit, stays at shortstop. Miguel Batista, the new unofficial 8th inning man for the New York Mets.
Well, you know, when you're talking about the relief pitchers for the Mets, Terry Collins has made it very clear. Francisco has the 9th, and the rest of you guys be ready to pitch at any time.
Here's the team captain talking it over with Girardi. Don't want to read that too much into that.
Well, the Wright RBI double gives the Mets some pad. It's now 6-2 as we play the top of the 8th. Although Wright left early on that great catch by Andrew Jones, he was doubled up by a mile, and that ended the inning. And now the Mets put a little shift on Mark Teixeira here.
Little, that's major.
I was being cutesy, you know.
Well, it's one of the reasons that Teixeira, who was a perennial 280 hitter or above, now still has the pop, still has the RBIs, but now a couple seasons in a row hovering around the 250 mark.
Batista's got him 0-1, and now quickly 0-2. You know, Terry Collins asked about the bullpen today and the fact that something rare in baseball right now, outside of Frank Francisco, the Chicken Man, there are no rolls. And Terry was asked about that, and he said, I think it keeps those guys in the game more. I think they've embraced it. And he gave an example today after the pitch. And it's outside for ball 1. He said Tampa The Johan Santana start, 6th inning. That was the most important out that Roush got coming in with the bases loaded. Keith, your take?
I'm an everyday player, but I used to always get a little bit miffed when relievers say, "Oh, I got to know my role." How am I supposed to perform if I don't know my role? If I'm one time I'm 5th, I don't know how to take that. I mean, I'm not really. I've never been a relief pitcher, never been a pitcher on a big league level, but. You know, it's got guys fighting for a spot now.
Yeah.
Competition's a good thing.
I think also, Keith, you make a good point. And the other point is that other than Francisco, everyone down there has to be ready all game. You get a lot of relief pitchers that start to manage with the manager on some ball clubs and anticipate when they're going to be in, as opposed to just getting themselves ready. And when I'm called, come in and get an out.
See Roush getting up just in case Batista needs help. And boy, Teixeira can't get a break. Second time he's fouled one off his feet. Of course, he took a liner off his heel the other day from Hayward. Hit his left heel. That's the one that was hurt. Nope, right on the shin.
That hurts.
Even with the guard.
Those puppies bark.
Imagine if he hadn't had that guard.
Torres charging in, not going to get there though. Leadoff single for the Yanks and Teixeira. New York Mets baseball tonight, brought to you by Nissan. Close a great deal now on your new Nissan. Hurry, the door to opportunity closes on July 2nd. Alex Rodriguez, the batter. Solo home run is last time up. Number 12 on the year, number 641 on his career. Look at where he ranks on the all-time list. 5th home runs. He's now 19 behind Willie Mays. 1,926 RBIs. He just moved in front of Jimmy Fox the other day for 8th all-time. He's now 12 RBIs away from Ty Cobb.
Well, you can see the defense deep, straight up. Not giving that up the middle, right side of the infield like they did the first couple of bats.
It's one buyout, 94 from Batista.
A lot of these bullpen guys have not pitched in a few days. Well rested, adding a little there by Batista. A-Rod sent him to a double play, but he's locked in right now. Base hit in his first at bat. That double play was a bullet to shortstop.
Oh, 2. He's throwing hard. Maybe it's all that pent-up energy for not knowing the roles.
Well, that's a pretty good resume right there, isn't it? Whew.
One, 2 from Batista. And he got him. Again, the heats. And Rodriguez set down. First strikeout for Batista.
Oh, that's where you got to pitch A-Rod. And you just got to pound and get the big swing. This is supposed to be on the outside corner, and it comes in, and he swings right through it. Beat.
So Batista gets the first out of the 8th. That'll bring up Robinson Cano. He's 0 for 3 tonight with a strikeout. All those at bats coming against Nice. Trying to pick up his 5th win of the year tonight. Nice went 6 1/3, allowed 2 runs on 8 hits, struck out 5, walked 1. Parnell came in and cleaned up the 7th, and now it's Batista's show. $40,191 at Citi Field tonight. Watch Game 1 of the Subway Series. time is called by Cano. Braves leading Boston tonight 3-0. Jair Jurgen's making his return to the mound, and Jair was sent down a few weeks ago, and he was not any better in AAA, but just with Brandon Beachy going under Tommy John, had no choice. Jurgen's coming back, pitching well so far. That game's in the 7th. 1-1 to Cano. Orioles leading the Nationals 2-1. That's heading to the top of the 9th now. Jim Johnson will be coming on there.
Oswalt must have pitched well for Texas tonight. They're leading 4-1.
One-two to Cano. That one's way high. Oswalt making his Rangers debut tonight. 6 2/3 for him. 6 strikeouts, 1 earned run, Ronnie.
Yeah, that was a great signing.
Cardinals all over the Royals 11-3. Cardinals have 11 runs and no home runs in that game. San Francisco and Oakland just underway. The A's swept the Dodgers. Yoenis Cespedes with the game-winning home run. 3-run shot, and now Lincecum on the mound, who has just had an awful year for San Francisco tonight. Again, the 2-2.
Quite a little battle here. That 6th run driven in by David Wright last inning on that double is really it's large right now. It's very large.
7th pitch of the at-bat coming to Cano. Batista working at a snail's pace right now. Before the Shea Bridge, it's a 2-run homer for Robinson Cano. And he went down and golfed that out of here. It's a 2-run game at Citi Field.
You know, the ball's down, but down and in is the home run power for Cano. You have to stay out of that area. If you're going to throw the slider, you got to bounce it. I don't know if he got 8 walks last year.
I don't think he got it in. This is just a hanger. Oh my goodness. That is just a little helicopter. And he just, that's right in his wheelhouse. He can hit that, man, let me tell you.
And the Yankees are just hanging around. It's now a 2-run game.
Look at that. That is just, he is an impressive hitter.
Now it's Swisher with the bases empty. He takes strike 1. Well, Cano, his 15th home run of the year. He's got 12 homers his last 31 games. And again, guys, the Yankees coming in leading Major League Baseball in the home run department. That's how they scored all their runs tonight.
Well, the Mets have been, their forte has been scoring 2 out runs. 4 of their 6 runs have been with 2 outs. The Yankees, all of their runs on the home run. A tale of 2 cities.
Oh, 2 to Swisher. Popped him up. Right, steadying and catching. 2 down.
David always looks like he's circling the wagons there. But he's got it.
We've had just enough rain to make it a little difficult on those pop-ups.
Yep.
And run first. Andrew Jones, guys, he had the big catch and the double play, which could loom large in this one. I mean, he is. Hairston hit that ball and he came in to charge, made a catch, right, left, second early. Ended what could have been a bigger threat for the Mets in the last inning. Batista with 2 down, bases empty, Mets by 2 in the 8th. The interesting thing about Terry Collins saying there are no roles, just trying to figure out who fits where right now, other than Francisco, is he seems to have comfort level with Parnell almost in the 7th inning if he can, rather than the 8th. Jones, big swing. Hairston has room, makes the catch, inning over, but the Yankees get a little closer. Robinson Cano with a 2-run jack against Batista. Mets 6-4 in front. Cars that deliver inspired performance. Take a look at Citi Field. On a night that's turned out to be okay. Heavy rains, 53-minute rain delay to start. We've had light rain here and there, but packed house to start this big weekend as the Mets look for a little retribution after getting swept in the Bronx.
You know, Kevin, Keith, and I were talking about that we were excited before the game because we played in a few packed houses in the other ballpark, and it always brings a lot of excitement as Clay Rapata comes in. Has not given up a hit to the last 20 batters faced.
Yeah, he has been tough on the lefties. You see the average right there.
Well, he's a side armor.
Granderson on the lazy fly ball by Duda, and there's 1 down. That'll bring up Turner. Rapata was a non-roster invitee in the spring. Signed as a minor league free agent. Has some time in his career with the Cubs, Tigers, Rangers, and Orioles last year.
There's been a lot of home runs in this game. You know, you can point to Ike Davis's 3-run home run in the first, but maybe the biggest hit of the game for the Mets has been Turner's in the first.
Well, it opened the door for Ike's home run, that's for sure. Andy Pettit had the bases loaded. He had just gotten Lucas Duda on a fly ball to center field. And then Turner, another good at bat, and he delivered a 2-run single. After that, it was Ike's 3-run home run. That's the Mets stood for a while until David Wright's RBI double in the 7th. See Davis on deck. Turner takes it outside. 1-1. Talking about home runs. We talked about Murphy and home runs. Second base has been a home run vacuum for the New York Mets. They haven't had a second baseman hit a home run since August the 6th of last year, and that's when Turner hit 2 homers against the Braves at Citi Field. So that's 120 games without a home run from any second baseman. That from Elias. 2-1.
I'm just thinking back to Doug Flynn, Felix Mian time. Right?
Two to Turner. Fouls off that frisbee. Well, here's the intrigue. In the 9th inning, we get to see Frank Francisco, who just happened to say that he can't wait to face those chickens, referring to the Yankees.
Yeah, it's Pollo time.
Turner to right, and Swisher misplays. It's over his head. Turner's going to head into second base. I don't know if Swisher was going to catch it anyway, but he took a bad angle and it sailed right over his head. A 1-out double for Justin Turner.
Well, he goes the right opposite field. Oh, he had a shot at it. He had a wrong beat on it.
Came in. Well, Turner's going to get out of there. You saw he looked like he hobbled ever so slightly rounding first base there with that angle. Francisco warming up. Valdespin will run for Turner. And that'll be Ike Davis's turn. But yeah, Francisco with the comment, can't wait to face those chickens. Well, he'll get a chance.
You wouldn't mind them adding on a little bit, wouldn't he?
Let's hope those chickens don't come home to roost.
Davis, first pitch swinging.
Oh,
Martin. Very adroit on that catch right by the screen for the second out.
Ike's asking the umpire to hit the screen on the way down.
That's a heck of a play right there.
Good hustle by Martin. There's Francisco. Get a little meeting at the mound here. Joe Girardi coming out. Heading to the pen for the righty. This call to bullpen brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes to save 15% or more on car insurance. We'll be back. 7:15 for a New York baseball showdown. Subway Series continues. For your Subway Series tickets, visit Mets.com or call 718-507-TIXX. Interesting move by Joe Girardi going to the pen and summoning the righty side armor, which will prompt Terry Collins to go to Daniel Murphy.
Yeah, which I think benefits the Mets. Definitely a nice job by Brian Cashman and his crew of claiming him off waivers. Texas designated him for assignment in early April, and he's been outstanding in that bullpen.
You know, another thing, too, you got another submariner coming in from the right side now that's got a long to the home plate, and Valdespin's on Segundo Base, excuse me.
Yeah.
So just take that, throw it away.
File it. Well, the great thing about Murphy is he likes the ball middle of the plate away, right?
Yeah.
And this is where you're going to get from Epley.
Tolley's on deck if the inning should continue. There are 2 outs with Valdespin, pinch runner for Turner on second. Tolley's going to come in and catch anyway because Murphy's pinch hitting for Nikias. And coming down a little harder. Daniel Murphy on May 16th is hitting .336. Since that point, he's batting .192. Be a good way to get him going again. Terry Collins said today that he will be in the starting lineup tomorrow. And he takes strike 1.
You know, and really a submariner is basically a sinker ball pitcher, and it's really throwing into Murphy's strength, which is down out over the plate.
One to Daniel Murphy. Interesting note from our friends at Bloomberg. Since June 3rd, Murphy's seeing more fastballs, about 5% more, and he's hitting just .138 against the fastball.
Fastball's in.
Jeter holding on Valdespin opens up that hole for Murph.
1-1. Record just missed, so it's 2-1 to Murphy. The Mets looking for a little insurance. 6-4 lead, bottom 8. And that is the storyline. Francisco will get a chance to face those chickens, as he said. Murphy patient, 3-1 now.
Would you look at Granderson in center field? My goodness, he's playing like it's like Freddie Patek's up.
They're going to walk Murphy. Is that what's going on here?
Yes.
And so they'll put Murphy on with the walk, and now Josh Tolley will get a shot.
Well, Epley started Murphy with a first pitch backdoor slider. Let's see what Tolley gets here.
Tolley is .286 with runners in scoring position on the season. Mets would love to add an insurance run right here. Tolley hits this one to right. Swisher right there. Tolley hit it on the screws, but Swisher didn't have to move to make the play. And now it's up to Francisco to close it down. Mets looking to take game 1 of this Subway Series when we return. Frank Francisco will come on and try and earn the save. Josh Tolley, who got the pinch hit appearance last inning, stays behind the plate. Jordani Valdespin, who pinch ran for Justin Turner, plays second base now. And Frank Francisco, who told the Post today that can't wait to, quote, face those chickens. Well, here's his chance.
Well, he's going to lead off against Russell Martin. He's going to bat in his spot. But the one thing the Yankees do have, they have some powerful bats on the bench. They have Eric Chavez. They have Raul Ibanez.
Is that a rally cap? Or is that just a bunch of wet tissues?
I thought it was Jonathan Winters for a second. Maude Fricker.
It's a mad, 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 mad world.
All right, the fun begins.
Francisco's got 17 saves. It's time for third in the National League. Behind Kimbrel of Atlanta and Cancilla of San Francisco, but this one might be a little bit more interesting.
Same outfield in there for the Mets. I'm surprised Neuenhuis is not out there for the ninth.
Bonnie is on deck to pinch hit for the pitcher spot. First it's Martin, and first pitch swinging, fouls it straight back.
Something you usually don't see or never saw. Down 2 runs in the ninth, you usually have that hitter taking the first pitch.
Granderson's got good numbers against Francisco, and he's up 4, so keep that in mind with a 2-run lead. Oh, way upstairs.
That was a splitter that got away. Let's see. No, what was it?
I think it was a slider.
I think it was too.
Yeah,
curveball.
It's starting to rain a little heavier, so that is going to negate the control of that slider to a degree. But you can't watch.
Martin to center. Torres racing back over his head. He makes the catch. Andres Torres got on the horse and got there in time, and there's one down.
Well, long way to run. And we've mentioned before, right down the pipe fastball. Martin covers it. He's playing deep enough.
And
he's got it.
Yeah, they always say that ball straight over your head is the toughest one for the center fielder. He read that off the bat. Outstanding. You can look.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my gosh.
I'll tell you what it means to the fans. So 1 away, and here is the former Mariner / Philly Raul Ibanez, who is 0 for 6 lifetime against Francisco. Takes outside ball 1. Francisco got his 7th save on Wednesday against the Orioles, but that was not easy. He allowed a run, and the bases were loaded before he got Brian Roberts to ground out. Jeter waiting his turn. One, 2 is a little low. And the count goes full to Ibanez now. A couple times that splitters sail high.
I wonder if the rain, I mean, you've got to be drying that ball and keeping it covered, right, Ron?
You're keeping it covered. You just want for some rosin, too, to get an extra grip.
Payoff pitch to Ibanez coming. Ball 4. And so the Yankees will be able to bring the tying run to the plate here in the 9th.
And it's not what you wanted to do. So the tension mounts.
Jeter will get a shot.
That's kind of the problem for Francisco in his last outing, Kevin. A couple of walks against the Orioles.
He had 2 singles and 2 walks in that inning. against the Orioles on Wednesday. Let up a run and then got out of a bases-loaded jam.
Playing Jeter the opposite field in the outfield and deeper. Nothing over your heads.
Valdespin, though, close to second base. Big hole between Ike and Valdespin.
Davis playing behind the runner.
And it's 1-0 to Jeter. 0 for 4 tonight. You see his numbers against the Mets closer. Granderson has a home run against Francisco in his career. He's waiting his turn. And now it's 2-0.
This is a top step of the dugout kind of game, isn't it?
It sure is.
Will set the tone for the weekend moment right here.
Let's see if Jeter takes 2-0. I bet not.
Occasionally he'll try to jump you when he's got the count in his favor.
Taken. Oh no, he would go ripped. He took a rip. He tried to deke him. He deked me. This is just power against power right here. That's a cut.
Don't be surprised after that big cut. 2-0 goes back to being Derek Jeter working all the field up the middle.
Right.
Trying to hit that hole to right field.
Well, right now he's got to continue the rally.
Two-1 to Jeter. And it's 3-1.
He's going to take another big rip.
Dave Roberts warming for the Yankees if they can extend it. Jeter pumps one to the left. It's a base hit. Tying runs aboard for the Yankees. 1 out. Here comes the heart of the order.
Well, 2-0, big rip. Fastball again, same spot, but Jeter this time, Ronnie, not swinging for the fences.
Shorter stroke.
Shorter stroke, line drive, keep it rolling. First and second, Yankees in business.
Well, for the Mets, let's hope that Dan Warthen has some great words right now.
Well, he'll be facing Curtis Granderson, 3 for 6 with a home run against Francisco in his career. Well, right now even a double would tie the game at this juncture.
He's going to face the guy with 21 home runs and the next guy behind him with 12. And you want to keep it in the yard.
Strike 1 to Granderson.
Good one. Good splitter.
Take a big country hack with 95 miles an hour.
This was a big rip too. I'll give Francisco credit. He likes his number 1 and he's got a good one. He's not afraid.
A lot of praying and not watching by Mets fans.
0-2.
Got him. Guessing splitter. And guess what he got? Cheddar outside corner. Go sit down.
Well, Tolley was standing up, wanted that fastball up in the strike zone, ended up centering it.
All right.
Yankees down to their final out with the tying runs on base here in the 9th. Opener of the Subway Series, it's Teixeira against Francisco. And we'll have a little discussion first.
Ronnie, what do you think right here? You've got the tying run on first base in Jeter. look where David Wright's at.
Yeah.
He is 25 feet off the line.
Don't like it.
I'm sorry. Double down the line. It's a tie ball game.
If it's a single in between the hole, only one run scores, and you're still in the game with an out to play.
You've got to protect the lines. Ike is way back as he should be, close enough to the line. I just don't like giving that lineup right here.
You know, Frank throws awfully hard. Most of his fastballs are away to the left-handed hitter.
I know Teixeira is a pull hitter. And you're playing percentages.
Teixeira's much better from the left side this year than the right. 1-0 the count. That time the effective split. It's 1-1.
A good one.
One and one to Teixeira here. Popped him up. And the Mets win it. Quintanilla makes the squeeze. Francisco gets the save, and the Mets take game one of the Subway Series 6-4 at Citi Field.
Well, Nice with his 5th win. Terry Collins' crew. Just enough offense in that first inning. An insurance run by David Wright. Later, good pitching and the 18th save for Frank Francisco.
Well, just a very, very exciting ball game. Mets get out quick, 5-0 in the first inning. Yankees claw back, and we have a little bit of electricity late with Francisco getting 2 men on, but gets his save. All in all, the Mets of their 6 runs, once again, 4 of their 6 runs with 2 outs.
And the first inning, the 5-run first inning, the big difference in this game, the 2-out, 2-run single from Justin Turner, the 2-out, 3-run home run from Mike Davis. So the 18th save for Frank Francisco, the 5th win of the year for Jonathan Nice. And game summary tonight brought to you by Time Warner Cable. Enjoy all the things you love better, all from Time Warner Cable. Pettit takes the loss after that 5-run inning. Nice pitched a nice game tonight. Bullpen helped pick him up, and Francisco with the drama gets through it in the 9th. Mets take game one of the Subway Series this weekend. Come back and wrap it up after this.